Okay, welcome everybody to the Dirty Old Podcast, episode 3. We're becoming thick and fast, and our popularity is just going through the roof. We're number 1 on YouTube. No, we're not really, but we're getting there.
Gonna be.
We've got Rousey again as usual. How are we doing, Rousey?
Yes, big up your chest.
And Alfie, how are we doing, mate?
Good.
Good. It's not like we've done any talking in the background or anything. So, guys, it's a nice warm evening.
It is.
So we won't take up too much of your time, but let's give the listeners what they want tonight. So first off, we're going to start at Swindon away. Okay, so 0-0. Player sent off, McCurdy. A lot to get in there. Down to 10 men. Alfie, should we have won that game?
Yes.
Short answer.
First half, we should have battered them. Should have put 3 past them. Second half, it dropped. Felt like we were playing against 12 men, not 10. They came out proper well. Felt like they were doing better with 10 than 11. Should have put a couple past them in the first half to settle the game off. And then they got ahead of us in the second, and then they didn't take chances, which was lucky for us.
But isn't that the case, Rousey? Though that we've had 10 men as well before, and actually we've played better than what we've had. We've had 11 on the pitch. And it's kind of like, can we have 10 on the pitch every week? But I think Neil Wood said in his post-match interview that obviously they're down to 10 men. They're set up as a defensive block. You've got to try and break them down. That's something that they have to try and learn to do. Yeah, down to 10 men. We know how difficult it can be to beat, but like Alfie's just referred to, we did have chances. It's not like we didn't create, but did we create enough, Rousey, in your opinion, to win the game?
There's 2 answers to it really. Like Alfie said, first half again was very good, and there's a pattern emerging here because we seem to start off very well. Had the game by the scruff of the neck by half time after the sending off, and you watch football on TV and you see teams go down to 10 men and you assume straight away there's going to be a defensive block and they're going to be tight, and Salford in this instance are going to come out and absolutely batter Swindon for the second half. That wasn't the case. They were the better team in the second half. They probably had more and the better chances in the second half, and that wasn't an 11v10 second half. Like Alfie said, it actually looked like they had an extra man in the second half of that game. It was so frustrating from the first half performance that we put in to come out and be dominated pretty much for the second half. I know we had the odd chance and we could have nicked it at the end, and that's what it would have been, putting it lightly, nicking it. I was just really disappointed. I don't think we were expecting it. I think Swindon's tactics were spot on to go for us rather than sitting, sitting deep and sitting behind it, because for me watching it, it didn't look like they were making it difficult because they had the majority of the ball, Martin. They used it really well, created some good chances. The crowd played their part and got behind them, and it was frustrating. It was a really, really, I'm not going to say poor second half, but it was a bad second half. Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't what I don't think any Salford fan was expecting, to be fair, mate.
I mean, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but people say the best form of defence is attack, isn't it? You're going up against 10 men. If you put the pressure on, yes, obviously, of course, when you attack, you're always open yourself up to a counter attack. Are they going to do that with 10 men? I mean, most 10 men, if you was playing someone in the lower half at the table, they'd probably just sit back and defend and try and get a point out of it. Swindon ain't that type of team, where they finished last season. They wasn't going to just sit back with 10 men. They're at home, they're going to push. But then equally, I look at it and go, well, all right, okay, we should have beat a team that had 10 men. Okay. We didn't play as well at the second half. Okay. But a point away at Swindon at this stage, it's beginning of the season, we still haven't lost. We didn't concede a goal. I think it's a bad result, but I don't think it's too bad. It's just too early on its feet.
I wouldn't say it was a bad result. I think, I'm going to get labelled as sit on the fence for House on all my predictions, because I like the odd draw away from home. I'll always take that, but I think the majority of fans would have took a draw pre-kick-off away at Swindon, and you're right, they're not one of them mid to lower table teams that will sit on it. That they are strong. They believe that they can still win a game without that 11th man on the pitch. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't think we come out in the second half, I think, thinking we were going to dominate in possession, dominate in style of play, dominate and attack the ball. And I think they just caught us by surprise. We panicked. We went into a shell. Mistakes were being made. I think King made a couple. There was a couple of just hasty clearances at the back, which I didn't like. I just think they caught us by surprise. Not a bad result, but not a good result. You know what I mean? Everyone would have took it pre-kickoff, but the way the game panned out and the way that first half performance was, I think we all sat in the concourse at half time thinking, yeah, we'll kick on now. We'll win this easily. We'll win it comfortably. Just wasn't the case.
I mean, Alfie, here's a question. I mean, I was just looking at the game against Salford, but obviously their game that they played in the Carabao Cup. I know they've only played 3 games, 2 league games, 1 cup game, but they seem to lack a little bit of discipline, Swindon. I mean, if you look at the game against us, how many yellow cards? I think it was 7 or 8 yellow cards and a red.
Yeah, it was 4 in the first half they had. Yeah,
very, very quick cards, weren't they? One after the other. And then they played in the, I think they played, did they play Walsall?
Yeah, Walsall beat them 2-0 last night.
Yeah, and again, Swindon had the players sent off straight red. And, I keep an eye of all the teams in our division. You've seen people picking up these early red cards, and that does make a difference as the season goes on. With the suspensions coming in, injuries, and I bring it back to obviously what we've talked about last week about our squad depth. I'm still concerned about the amount of players that we've actually got on the bench. Is the bench strong enough, in our opinion? Alfie, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, the people on the bench have all got the ability to come on and do a good job for us. If they have a good amount of time, they can probably produce something. But it's hard to judge if they only get 85 minutes onwards or something like that, something short. I think we need to start bringing subs on a bit earlier if they want to make an impact.
Yeah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we only used 2 subs against Swindon. Seeing more teams using the full 5. I think Swindon used the 5 or maybe 4, but 4 or 5 subs. All right, tired legs, 10 men. We've not really seen Neil Wood use that 5 sub rule yet, to our advantage in any way yet, have we? So that maybe we'll see that in times to come. Or maybe actually, do we actually need to keep changing it and using 5 subs? I mean, I'd personally like to. I think the benefits of 5 subs is you can bring more people on, gives, maybe like Burko, who probably wouldn't be in your first 3 sub selections, he might get on for 10, 15 minutes. But also, I wouldn't want to change the ship too much unless it's really necessary in a game. And I think 3 subs would be a good number. Never mind. Okay, but it's a point. We'll take a point.
Yeah, no, it's a point. And you know what? It might be a good point come the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, we would have all took it pre-kick-off, 11v11, and it we'd have gone home happy. But I just think the way the game panned out was just disappointing and sad.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think we said right at the beginning of the first episode before the season started, we was talking about the first 6 games and how tough they were. It was a really good, tough 6 games start the season. We know we don't usually start the season quite well, and we usually finish. In the last 2 seasons, we finished more stronger than we have started. And so I think from my perspective, yeah, it's disappointing that we didn't get the 3, but it could be one of those games where you go, well, Swindon away, regardless of 10 men, that was a good point over the season. And obviously, the next 4 games would give us maybe an indication of where we're going to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come to I don't know whether did we talk about Bolton or would you skip by and
I'm gonna go toilet for this one, I think. Toilet break.
Bolton midweek. What was the score? Can you remember?
No, I can't.
A lot of us left early, I think, as well. You don't normally see that. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get it. No disrespect to, we call them day trippers, you know, lads that want to get home and beat a bit of the traffic or whatever. But the I won't say the real Salford fans, that's unfair. But the locals or the regulars, they all tend to stay. But there was quite a few that left on 80 minutes. I've seen quite a few faces went out. I actually went out on 84, 85. Couldn't take it anymore. I don't normally do that. I normally give the lads a clap off, or I'll give them a piece of my mind if I don't think they've played very well. But yeah, that was disappointing on Tuesday. I think I said in the previous podcast, just the fact that it's Bolton, a northwest local rival. You want to see a bit of fight. You want to see a bit of grit. You want to see a bit of spunk in them, and there wasn't any of that after that second goal went in for me. It was poor to say the least, and I think any Salford fan that tells you that any different is a liar, in my opinion. I think it was a really, really bad. I wouldn't even say second half. I think into the first half, you could see warning signs there straight away. I think as soon as that second goal went in, our lads didn't want to know for me.
I mean, I think did he make, was it 3 changes from the squad from the weekend? Which, okay, I think we said 2 or 3 changes, maybe. We got that correct. I mean, looking at Bolton's squad, they seem to have made more changes than us. Yeah, the League One, we know the size of Bolton's fan base and how they were as a club. You know, the ex-Premier League, ex-Europa, and I think it was probably a bit of a slap to the face in terms of bringing us back into reality a little bit. Yeah. I think, although we were a little bit disappointed not getting full points from Swindon, we've kind of building up to the pre-season and then we're beating Mansfield. We've kind of gone, oh, we like this type of football. This looks good. And then we've almost got ahead of ourselves thinking, well, we can give anybody a good game. And I still think we can, but then we play Bolton and that just unravels so quickly. And it's kind of like, right, okay, that's putting us back in our box a little bit, you know. But positive, Asante gets on the score sheet again, scores in the 23rd minute, puts us in front, tails are wagging, crowd goes crazy, very vocal. And we're thinking, aye up, there's a spoiler on the cards here. And then, like you say, 1 goal, 2 goals going, and at that point, and then in all fairness, some of the goals that they scored were good. I think Van Varsen, he scored a good cracker as well. And
yeah, there was 2 or 3 goals what they scored where we were just chasing shadows. Absolutely, I think one of the goals was it the 3rd or the 4th. They made 31 or 32 passes before scoring a goal. It touched every player on the pitch. We just couldn't get near the ball, and I think it shows where we are. We think we can probably I think we can compete in League 2, but I think it shows the distance between League 1 and 2. It was a big eye opener for me because, like I said, that I know it was a slightly weakened team, but it weren't far off a starting 11. You know, maybe 3 or 4 players, but well, we just couldn't get near the ball. The second half, we couldn't get anywhere near the ball, and it was just a bad performance for me. That second half, we just didn't want to know. The lads didn't want. The lads wanted that full-time whistle, I think, to go as soon as possible.
Maybe want to forget. I mean, Alfie, is a cup run important for us? Is it? Yeah, well, there's 2 questions. Is it important for the club to have a cup run? Is it important for the fans to have a cup run?
The fans would like it. I think the club's not too bothered. I think the club's rather us go win the league, run and get promotion then. And I'd rather get beat off Bolton 5-1 like we did and then go up after that than beat Bolton and not challenge for anything this season.
I mean, I kind of look at it, if we're gonna look at this from a positive perspective, I I do believe our squad's light on numbers. I think a cup run, being in a cup this early on and then going into the next round, I think it's just another game where we can pick up suspensions and injuries. And I know you can't go into a game thinking like that, but it is an extra game to the schedule where you think we could do without. If our squad was big, and I appreciate, Alfie, what you're saying about the people on the bench probably are good enough to come on and make a difference, and to come on and help the team. But past the bench, there's not a lot there. And I know you can only put so many people on the bench, but I would also say on that bench, I'm trying to look at who's going to come on and really make a difference. And I know if you had that type of player, you'd be saying, why doesn't he start? But I think it's stronger than last season. Matt Smith on the bench, adds some height. At home, I think he'll do well. Away, maybe not. I just think we need to make probably another one or two signings just to really put people under pressure and challenge for spots and places in the team. I don't think that's there at the moment, personally. That's my opinion, but could be wrong. What do you reckon, Rouse? Am I close to the mark or way off?
I do think so. I think every fan wants to see more faces come in. I don't know. I don't want to be too critical because it was, it was a cup game. I know. But I'd like to think that the main focus is the league this year. I think this is the year that we're going to give it a go or try to give it a go more than others. I think the signings, like we've said and we've spoke about in previous podcasts, it's young, it's hungry. The style of football is different. It's better in my opinion. I just would have liked to have seen a bit of fight. Just the fact that it is a local rival. I don't know whether that's the Northwest lad in me wanting to slap Bolton or just give them something to think about. I think the fact, like I said, we've played Bolton 3 times now and we've never come close to them once, in my opinion. I know we were a bit closer last season, the league games, but still, we've been beaten. We've been beat comfortably. We haven't been beat comfortably on Tuesday. We got hammered, absolutely hammered. And I just didn't like it when there was no fight, shrugging of the shoulders, the walking about, not necessarily blaming each other, but I think there when you're looking and you Neil Wood and you're 3 or 4-1 down, throw Dackers on, throw Samos on, you know what I mean? Just sit, right, go on lads, show me what you can do. Now's your window of opportunity for Saturday. And I didn't really see that, which I weren't happy about. And I just didn't really see there weren't enough grit for me, and that worries me when you're going in to Saturday against a very, very good Crewe side. I don't know. The good thing about football is it's a treadmill of football and the games come thick and fast. I hope we can just chalk that one off now. Cup's gone. Concentrate on the league and move on. But yeah, it was poor.
Well, you've highlighted a good point there, Rousey, though, because I think we just mentioned there about the 5 substitutions that you can use, and we've only used, I think, a max so far in the 3 games that we played, 2, I think, and like you say, you're at a point where 5-1,
nothing to lose, just go on, lads.
Yeah, you kind of conceding defeat, aren't you? You conceding defeat, and you kind of go. Just give them 10, 15 minutes, like you say, just to put yourself in the shop window. Are you good enough for the weekend? And I'm sure they'll be chomping at the bit, Dackers and Samos. And but it wasn't to be. But at the end of the day, Bolton came was playing that game on the back of an absolute brilliant win against Wycombe 3-0 at the weekend. And obviously they drew against Ipswich in the opener 1-1, which again Ipswich are favourites to win the league. So they've obviously got the minerals to be a competitive team in League One, and obviously we're trying to make sure that we compete in League Two as well. So, but as you say, let's move on and forget that one.
Get it on.
That never existed this season. So, just a quick. I know last episode we went through kind of some of the league results and that. I'm not going to do that this time, but just to highlight, at the moment there's 4 teams at the bottom of the table that haven't picked up a point. Crawley, Tranmere, Rochdale and Stockport. And then if we look at the top half of the table, there's 5 teams on max points in Walsall. Obviously, I wasn't expecting it, but a lot of people were saying actually Walsall are going to have a good season this year, and that looks like it's coming to fruition. Crewe, who we've got the weekend, max points. I think they scored 5, conceded 1 or 2. I'm not too sure. Barrow, Stevenage, and obviously Richie Wellens is Leyton Orient. So won't go too much into Richie Wellens, Leyton Orient, because we've got Neil Wood now and we move forward. But obviously he's obviously got them well organised and well drilled, and looks like they're going to do quite well this season. But Salford, 7th position, 2 scored. I know it's not a big number, but 2 scored, but we haven't conceded. So from a defensive perspective in League Two, we look quite sound. I know there's been a few times where we could have conceded, but the fact is we haven't, and that's all we've got to go on. Quick rumour on Asante going to Oxford. What do we think there, chaps?
Hopefully not.
What about for £5 million though?
10.
No, I hope not. I think he's playing good football this season. Back end of last season and the start of this season, I think he's looked busy. He's leading the line well. He's staying on his feet a lot more, which I think's good and encouraging. I know he wins a lot of free kicks, but I think he's too quick to drop down on the floor when he feels a bit of contact. And he's not doing that as much this year, and certainly in pre-season I've seen he's trying to stay on his feet. He's trying to get to the byline or get a shot off, which is good. And up to now, it's for me, it's paying dividends. He's got a couple of goals. Like to think he's happy. I'd like to think that there's still a little bit of loyalty left in football, and he wants to prove, and not thank Salford for his chance. That's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Like, prove his point. I know money talks in this industry, and it depends what Salford want to do with him. But I would like to see him stay. Certainly this year, I think if we're going to make a push, we're going to need players like Asante, I think.
Alfie, is in for you? I mean, we've all got our own opinion. So for you, is Asante one of the, not necessarily the first person you look for, but is Asante, he's got to be starting games for you? Is he like, yeah, he definitely needs to start games?
Yeah. Obviously he's a good player. It makes them runs in behind, which makes the defence wonder what they do, where they position, how they defend that, which is good from a Salford perspective. And then if we start playing good football, he has them people in the middle where we can square it or shoot. So I think we should keep him. Ant's missus might not be happy with that, but
probably not. She's not his number one fan.
Well, do you know what though? I think, like your point, Rousey, there, I think obviously in the past he has kind of gone down a little bit easy, shall we say. I'm not saying for 1 minute he's thrown himself to the ground, but is going down under very little contact, shall we say. Now, maybe that's just tactically trying to win a free kick. And, it's, and you score from that and you're going, yeah, well done, Santi, well done. But I actually think this season, staying on his feet a little bit more, having that desire to stay on his feet, because I think he probably did start getting himself a reputation with the officials, kind of keep an eye out for him. We know what he's like. And if now that he starts trying it the other way, I think he will get more out of it. I think he generally will get fouled, where it's a stone cold free kick or a penalty. And I think he will deliver more in terms of shots on target and for assists as well. And I think other coaches from other teams are kind of looking at Asante. I do actually think that they look at him and pinpoint him as one of our danger men. I know we've got a few now, but he's got pace. He's tricky. He will go down under a little bit of a knock, and he can score goals from outside the box. Look at his goal against Bolton. I know that was just inside the box, I think, but he's gone. He's put it right across keeper. He's found the bottom pocket, and he can finish goals and he can assist. So I like him to stay. But like I say, we've nurtured him through for many years now, and if an offer comes in, they may see that actually we've gotten to a place where he obviously wants to move on, and the fee is good enough for us to accept and go, we can use that to put it into something else. So, but I don't think it will come out of anything. And I think Oxford have got a lot of strikers on the books at the moment. So I presume they're going to have to offload before they bring somebody in. So don't need to worry. He's staying for the season. It's good. Sorry, Rachel.
I think she's all right.
Right.
She's coming round to it this year. He's like I said, she sees he's staying on his feet and adding goals. So we'll put Rach in a place. Don't worry about that.
If he gets 15, 20 goals, he'd be the Messiah, won't he? He'd be fine.
Yeah,
Okay, guys, we've done the past. We're going to move on to Crewe at Saturday. So I'll be wearing my Salford shirt because in the past seasons I kind of go with the t-shirt and don't wear my Salford shirt. I used to back in the non-league days, but for the first game of the season against Mansfield, I thought I'm going to wear my shirt and we won 2-0. So that is kind of my home game, my lucky charm. I'm going to keep on winning with that shirt on. But it's going to be a tough ask, guys. We've got playing a team, played 2 games, 1-2, score goals, 5 goals, 2.5 goals a game. It's a good ratio, and obviously looking tight at the back as well. Not quite as tight as us, but they've only conceded 1. Beat Harrogate 3-0 and they beat Rochdale 2-1. So again, Harrogate, yeah, they got a good result against Swindon when they won 3-0. But then obviously they're going to got beat against Crewe. So I don't know where Harrogate really are at the moment, but on paper, you wouldn't say Harrogate and Rochdale have played the strongest teams compared to what Salford's fixtures have been. But nevertheless, it's going to be a tough game. And looking at one of their players who seems to be getting quite a few assists for them is a chap called Callum Ainley. And so, yeah, got to keep an eye out. I think they're going to be pretty dangerous. I think they will have plenty of chances. But Alfie, let's come to you. What do you think? What type of game is it going to be on Saturday?
I think it'll be an end-to-end game.
Yeah.
I think we'll concede, to be honest. I think we'll come out with a win, 3-2 Salford. But I think we will concede. Because we've got to the point where if we keep playing like we are in the second half against the last 3 teams, we'll end up conceding. So I think we will concede. But I think we still will win. But it'll be a game.
Rousey?
Before the Bolton game, I'd have been pretty confident. It was, I think, like I said, I think that we've had a tougher start. We've played two pretty decent teams, and yeah, like you said, although Harrogate are a good team, you wouldn't be thinking that they're going to be challenging for automatic come the end of the season. They might be there or thereabouts for one of the last playoff places, but you would kind of expect Crewe to be beating them. I'd like to think we've got enough still to win that game. I do think it's going to be tough. I don't think there's going to be loads of goals like Alfie's just suggested there. I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. I hope it's Salford. It just depends. For me, what Salford turn up in that second half, it's becoming, like I said, a bit of a pattern, and I don't want that. I don't want the fans to start feeling that. Certainly, there's already a lot of murmurs in the group chats and on the forums that we're becoming that kind of team, and I just don't want that to happen. I'd like to see a good, confident performance. I'd like to see a lot of positivity. Like I said, the cup game's a cup game. Bolton are a league above us. We need to remember that. Yeah, draw a line under that and go into it. Like I said, like we've started all the halves of every game we've played. Positivity, confident football, nick a goal and just get a scruffy 1-0 win for me. I think we can win. I think we can do it. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and I think it's going to be very, very tight. But I'm going to say there's enough there from what I've seen. I just hope that, like I said, the confidence isn't shook a little bit from that cup drubbing. But again, Crewe got their own walloping. They got beat 4-0, didn't they? I think off Grimsby. So yeah, like I said, yeah, let's hope that shook them up a little bit as well. I think I watched their manager's interview as well, and they might have two injuries from first team players as well. I don't know who they are, the lads, but let's hope that they're good players for them.
Well, do you know what? If I was Neil Wood, if I had to give him a little bit of a pep talk for Saturday, I was saying, and I'm sure they've watched the 5-1 out their heads already. But you can talk about Crewe. They got beat 4-0 off Grimsby. Right, okay, Grimsby. They came up last season from National League. They're now sitting in League Two, and that player hurt them more than the 5-1 beating from Bolton in League One. So I was pretty positive. I think both confidence might have been shook a little bit on both sides, but I think we've got the upper hand. We're at home. We've got the home crowd. We can just say, look, okay, we got beat by Bolton, but they got beat by Grimsby boys. You know what I mean? So just get in the faces, play the front foot, keep playing the way that we do in first half, and start the game the same way. But can we finish the game the same way as well for a change? And I think if we do that, we will win on Saturday. But equally, I think we'll go. I think we'll go 1-0 up. I think we'll be 1-0 at half time. And if I'm only playing this on the way that we've been playing, and I think it'll be a draw come end of the 90 minutes, 1-1. I'm going to do a Rousey prediction of 1-1. But obviously Alfie's gone for 3-2, and Rousey, you're going for 1-0. Salford,
yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Salford win. I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think there's enough there for me to win that game.
Well, I mean, I always give you the bookies predictions because not like it means anything, but Salford are just above, just short of evens to win. So they're 65 on. Draws 5-2. Swindon. No, it's not. Crewe's 3-1. So looks like the bookies fancy us a lot more than they do Crewe. But anyway, never mind. Let's see. Let's get behind the boys. I'm sure you'll be are you in the West End, Alfie?
No, I'm going
Saturday.
south.
Oh
South.
my God!
Because you're there.
You're getting your face painted and getting your pizza.
Yeah.
You get around because
flag for
Look
you.
at this.
to be fair, Alfie, you get around because you've sat behind me a few times, or just to the right of me a few times in the north, and then obviously you're in the West End, and then you'd be saying next you'll be in the away end for the next home game after this one. So we spin out a Saturday out of that game, and then play not as a difficult fixture as it would have been last season. Newport away. Now in the past that has been a tricky fixture, but they're not doing that great. They're not had the greatest starts. Drew 1, lost 1. We don't know how they're going to do it the weekend yet. So if they get a draw or a loss, then maybe we can get something on the road at Newport, which would be good. But do we have to go into the same game against Newport as we would do against Crewe at home? Is it going to be? Are we foreseeing that there's going to be any changes or different style of play to play Newport? Or
I don't think so. I don't think we've any reason to fear Newport. They've got a tough game at weekend. They've got Bradford, haven't they? So, hopefully they're licking the wounds after that. I can't see anything other than a Bradford win, if I'm being honest there. So, when we go into that game, I know some people say, "Oh, yeah, right, well, you're going to get a reaction now," but I don't know. Newport are a good team, but I just think keeping or trying to keep the confidence and the morale up. Hopefully, we get a win on Saturday and we go into that game full of confidence. I don't think we've got any reason to be fearing Newport. We do all right there, to be fair, as well. If memory serves me, well, I think we've been there and we've had a couple of wins. I know one of them went to penalties. I think one of them was the FA Cup, weren't it? Yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, it's been a ground I think that's served us well over the years. So, yeah, we know what the type of team they are. But like I said, I think there's enough there for us to be beating Newport.
yeah, I mean, obviously King is going. Obviously, it's King's old club, isn't it, as well? So I'm hoping that he wants to get one over and doesn't give him an easy ride.
No.
just punching balls left, right, and centre, just so they can come firing back a little bit. But how do you see the game going, Alfred? Do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be a tough game for us? I mean, they have lost 1, drew 1, but they're going to be chomping a bit to get their first 3 points, are they not?
Yeah. I think it'll be an even game, to be honest. Start of the season, both clubs want to win. No one's fighting for anything yet. I think it'll be a tough game, to be honest. Every game's a tough game for now.
Mm.
And then they'll shape up well, I think. I think they'll bounce back from the defeat against Walsall. I think they'll beat Bradford. And I think they'll come against us thinking they'll smash us. And then we put up a good performance.
You say about Bradford, they haven't really rose to the occasion yet, have they? I mean, I know it's only 2 games, but I think that's why we said at the beginning, the first 6 games is important for any team, isn't it? And even for us as fans or us talking about other teams on a podcast, it's more, you can't really just look at a team after 2 games and go, well, they drew one, lost one, so they're up to nothing. You know, we've got to wait for six games, have a look at the form, see how they're doing at home and away. I think Newport's biggest loss is they haven't replaced Dom Telford.
And they've let that Abraham go. He went to Warsaw.
Right, okay.
Tammy Abraham's brother, I think it's Timmy.
Yeah, that's right.
The tall one.
Yeah. So that, I don't think they've replaced him with Omar Vogel from Hartlepool United. Now, I think he wants to resurrect his career a little bit, and it might be a good thing, but it's not an inspiring signing from Hartlepool, is it? You know, for bringing in somebody who's probably only scored probably about 10 or 12 goals a season in his best season, whereas Dom Telford, I think he got, was it 23 or 25 or something last season? You know, that's a lot of goals to try and replace. I don't think they've got the firepower in it, so I think we'll win on Tuesday night away at South Wales. We'll get a win. What do you think the prediction is going to be, Alfie, for Newport?
2-0 Salford.
Thank you. How's that?
Good shout. You just stole me thunder there. I was going to say 2-0, but I
was
can't have the same as you, Alfie, so I'll say 2-1.
Well,
win.
There would have been nothing wrong with that, Rousey. You would have gone 2-0. If you know, when you it's like that horror film, if you say something in a mirror 3 times.
Well, let's do it. Yeah, go on then. I'm going to say 2-0. I don't think they'll score. I think we'll beat. I actually think Newport will be a comfortable performance. I think if we get beat, I'm never coming on a podcast again.
Positivity is what we do on here.
Some people will be like that. Please, Newport win, please, so we don't have to see him again.
I'm going to go for 2-0 as well. But you know, just joking there. You know, at the moment, you know, this podcast will be ultimately we want to keep it as positive as possible. That I hope throughout the season there isn't difficult conversations where, you know, with the Bolton thing, okay, it is what it is. But you know, I hope this season is going to be a success. And it doesn't necessarily mean if you don't get promotion, then let's get on the podcast and let's rip shreds out the team. And I know you guys, that's why, you know, I like having you guys on, because you do get the honest opinions as well. So we've got to keep it honest because that's what people want to hear. So, but just to finish up, we talked about the first 6 games, 18 points on the table, and where we wanted to try and get, you know, obviously a maximum of 18 points would have been fantastic. We can't achieve that, but I kind of thought around about 14 points would be a good start over the first 6 games. But you know, if my predictions come true, then after 4 games we're going to be on 8 points, which means to get to 14 we're going to have to beat Doncaster away and Stevenage at home. Doncaster down from League One, could be a tricky game, but they're not doing anything at the moment. But Stevenage seem to be on fire with maximum points, so difficult games coming up, chaps.
Yeah, well, I said that I think in the first podcast I looked at them first six fixtures and I was like, we could be bottom of the league here come September or whenever it is that them first six fixtures are over. But no, like I said, even in that first 20 or 30 minutes against Bolton, we looked good. We didn't look out of place against them, and they're a league above, but we need to sort that out if we're going to concede. You know, we haven't conceded in the league yet. That'll be interesting to see what happens when we concede and what shape we take and how we play the game and approach the game. I think the Crewe manager picked up on it. He's noticed like styles of play with and without the ball already, which is something that Neil Wood's probably trying to implement quickly. Our approach, I've not seen that when we're behind the 8 ball and we've got goals to chase and how we approach games then. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that I want us to go a goal down to see how we play football. I'd rather win games comfortably, but we've not been in that situation yet. But I don't know. For me, I like what I see. You know, we start games well, we start games positive. Hopefully that we can, you know, we can do enough to win the game like we did against Mansfield, and I hope that'll be the case on Saturday. And the game peters out. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what Salford are like when we're losing games and under the cosh, like certainly away at Doncaster, because I'm pretty sure they'll bring a large number of fans there, and you know, not be good to see, but just be interesting.
I mean, I don't think we're going to go behind, you know, games 0-0. I don't think we're going to be the team that concedes first more than the other way around. I think defensively, past seasons, we've always been pretty strong defensively. We were always one of the top 3 defensive teams in the league, but we've always lacked the goals. But I think obviously with Makalena, Asante, Hendry, you know, that trio there, if they can really gel and knit, we've said this before, I think there's plenty of goals in there. And then you start throwing in a few from midfield and you know, a few others chipping in. Then I don't think we'll lose too many games. But like you say, Rousey, at the moment, especially in the league, we haven't had that test yet where we've been a goal down, and how are we going to react? How are we going to come back to that? How are we going to overcome that? Because a lot of teams, certainly at home, any team that comes to the peninsula and go a goal forward, most teams are going to sit up and just block and try and defend and try and if we can't break that down, then that's where we'll struggle. But that comes to the mindset and the mentality of the players as well. But I'm sure Neil would, you know, look, we know he's capable of motivating the players. So, you know, 3rd game on Saturday, and let's see where we end up.
Yeah, it has. It's not been a bad start. It's been a good start in the league. Like I said, Tuesday was disappointing, but that's more from I would say a passion perspective.
Yeah.
I think everybody wanted him to put in a good performance against Bolton just because it's Bolton. But you know, let's have it right. They are a league above. They are an actual league above in terms of that performance as well. You can see that a mile off.
Sure.
Get rid of it. Carry on. You know, like I said, it's been a good start in the league. Not great, but good. Swindon was disappointing, but yeah, hopefully we can pick up from the Mansfield game and pick up another 3 points, and it'll be a totally different podcast on the next one.
Well, we hope so. Let's see. Hopefully, let's 2 games to play, maximum 6 points if we can, and we'll all be singing and dancing this time next Thursday. But chaps, thanks very much for your time as always. That's episode 3 of the Dirty Old Podcast. Guys, keep listening if you're listening. Hope you're enjoying it. Some good positive feedback, which is good. So Alfie, Rouse, it's down to you guys as well. So thanks very much, guys. I'll see you on Saturday.
Alfie, do us a massive favour, mate. The next podcast, wear your face paint from the South Stand, please.
Will do. Make sure I set it as my background.
Right.
Happy days. Well, there you go. He said it now. Cheers, chaps. All the best. See you Saturday, guys.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
Bye.